Now let's be honest, filmmaking can be a very rewarding career, but it's no walk in the park. Whether you're a one-man band or whether you're filming with a crew, there's a lot of moving parts. And while gear isn't everything, there are a few pieces of gear that I feel like will make your job a lot easier. So in this video, I'm gonna show you a few pieces of filmmaking gear that have made my job just a little bit easier. Now, there might be a few pieces of gear that surprise you, so definitely stick around. First thing on the list is these batteries from Core. Now, these are the Apex 360 batteries, and these big boys are absolutely gigantic. The reason is that they're meant to power lights. The way I've been using these Apex 360 batteries over the past several months is I've been tossing them on something like an Aputure 600, and at 50% brightness, it'll power that 600 for well over 2.5 hours. Or if I'm using this on an Aputure 300X at 100% brightness, I can get over 3 hours just by powering it with these two batteries. I absolutely love these things. And like I said, they've made my job a heck of a lot easier, especially when filming solo. The next piece of gear that's made my job a lot easier is a 21-inch production monitor. Now, the one that I've been using is the OC LCM 215 21.5-inch monitor. I like to have this larger monitor in front of me, and that's just a personal preference as a DP or director. It's nice to have that bigger image in front of you. Alternatively, I've used it for a first AC. I've used it as a client monitor. It's really nice to have something this large and this bright. Honestly, this thing is absolutely like freaking bright at 100%. Now, it's not perfect. It does have kind of a little bit of an antiquated menu system. It's not like a Small HD or even an Atomus. When it's not on the cart, what I do is I put it on a rolling stand like this one from Impact. It keeps things mobile, it keeps things nimble. I can move it around. I'll also toss one of those Apex 360 batteries on the back of it, and it'll power this monitor almost all day, even at full brightness. It does make a huge difference when you have this larger monitor and you're able to see every little detail. You're not squinting. I don't have great eyesight to begin with, so having this larger monitor has definitely made my job a lot easier. Speaking of making my job easier, that brings us to the sponsor of this video. I've been using Audio.com for a lot of my music and sound effects needs. Audio.com is a paid subscription licensing platform that has a whole bunch of awesome songs and sound effects that you could use in your projects, whether it's on YouTube or also commercial work. One of the standout features of Audio is their Link Match AI tool. What Link Match AI does is it allows you to paste a link to a song, and Link Match will do its best to give you a list of similar sounding songs to choose from. Link Match AI is a tool that's come in clutch a few times, and it's included in the Pro subscription for Audio.com. If you use coupon code JOE70 at checkout, you're gonna get 70% off of a yearly subscription plan for the Pro membership. What you get with an Audio.com Pro membership is access to thousands of amazing licensed music tracks, as well as sound effects, and of course, the Link Match AI feature. Thanks again to Audio.com for sponsoring this video.
Something else that makes our job a lot easier is a production cart. And the one we're using here is from Pro-Aim, and this is the biggest one that they make. And as you can see, we've got a bunch of different gear stored on it. We've got our camera rig, we've got some cleaning supplies over here, batteries, we have the lenses. And what this does is it keeps things all in one place, keeps things safe and secure. We have some cup holders down there. Those are the Robo cups. That helps keep drinks off of the cart. Pet peeve of mine, anytime someone puts drinks on the cart. But we also have a post set up here. This way, if we're reviewing any of the shots with our client or with the crew, we've got this nice monitor that I talked about earlier in the video. Also, it helps us to transport gear from location to location. There's a bunch of different brands that make these. So like I said, this one's Pro-Aim, and I don't own this one, but we use it all the time on shoots. And like I said, it's come in handy quite a bit.
Next up is the iFootage Spider Crab Arm. It may look just like a regular old friction arm at first, but what's unique about these is the quick release head system. Now you just open up the latch here, which is incredibly secure. You hit the button and you pull this head out. And what's great about the head is that, first of all, you just screw it into your camera or whatever you're mounting into, monitors. But what's really unique about this head is that it has locating pins that will disappear if not needed. They actually recess into the head. Now the same goes for this 3/4 right here. It'll turn into a 1/4 20 So this is great because it allows you to mount it in all these different locations. So once you've mounted this to your device, boop, pop it in there and you're good to go. It's on both sides, which is great. And they do come in different sizes. I always keep 2 of these in my case. I've mounted monitors, I've mounted wireless transmitters, wireless receivers, whatever it is. I've mounted little lights from this thing. And I will say that these spider crab arms have made my job a lot easier, and they really do come in handy. The next piece of gear that I've found that has come in handy and made my job a lot easier is this little Giotto's air blaster. You've probably seen these 100 times, and if you haven't, what they're used for is to quickly and easily blow dust or lint or debris, whatever it is, off your lens or your filters or even your sensor. So these things have come in handy, but what has really set it off and really made things a lot easier is this USB-C powered air blaster. Now, this thing has come in handy with keeping gear clean. It's I use it for everything, to be honest with you. I use it to clean my keyboard, and it has different attachments, but you could use the little brush or you could use the regular nozzle. It has a dial here, which is the power button, but it also adjusts the level of output. Honestly, I've had this thing on set, and every single time I break it out, someone's like, oh, what's that? That thing is so cool. Where'd you get it? And I just basically tell them I got it on Amazon. So all these products, or most of these products, you're gonna find a link in the description below. And honestly, this little thing has really come in handy. Next up is something that I really wish I would have found or purchased much sooner in my career, and that is the Tentacle Track-E audio recorder. Now, what this little guy does is there's a lav mic that plugs into it, and what's amazing about this is it's not wireless, it's all recording internal, but what makes this truly amazing is that it not only records 32-bit float audio, which is essentially raw audio, but it also syncs up with the Tentacle Sync-E timecode boxes. If we were to explain timecode real quick, what it does is it will sync up your camera, it'll sync up your audio recorder, it'll sync up other cameras. It syncs them all together on timecode. So for those who don't know what timecode is and how to use it and why it's so essential and why it makes your job a lot easier, is that if you're recording on multiple devices, say you have 3 cameras or even just 2, and you've got external audio, let's say you've got a couple of these, a couple Track-E's on 2 different talent, but you also have a boom mic, and you've got all these different things that you need to sync up in post. Now, if you've ever done this manually in Resolve or Premiere, whatever it is, sure, you could use the based on waveform syncing, which isn't always perfect, but timecode, honestly, I would say 99% of the time it is perfect and it will sync. So like I mentioned earlier, you could use this Track-E in sync with the Sync-E, but you could also connect an endless amount of these. I don't know if it's endless, but you can connect a bunch of these together. Let's just say that you're filming a documentary and you're keeping things very low budget. You want to film several different subjects. Let's say you've got 4 people and you need to record them all. You need to make sure that you've got a lav mic. You could put 4 of these, right? And you could run them simultaneously. You could control them from the app. You could hit record or stop record. All of it works. And again, it's 32-bit float, so there's no clipping. There's nothing that's gonna go on. Like, they could shout into their microphone and it's not going to clip. So that's the beauty of the Tentacle Sync and Track-E combination. Again, I absolutely love these things, and I'll just say that, like, this is probably one of my favorite pieces of gear, and it's not the sexiest, but I will say it's probably the most essential piece of kit that I'm mentioning today. The next piece of gear that has made my job easier, and one thing that I wish I would have picked up sooner, and I think you're starting to see a trend, things that I wish I had found sooner, but this next piece of gear is the Mathews Hollywood Beefy Baby Stand. Now, my buddy Andy introduced me to these stands, and when I picked it up the first time, I was absolutely amazed with how light this stand is. And if you've bought anything from Mathews, you know that they're amazing. They have the leg leveling system, they have the same quality that Mathews is known for, and they're honestly so surprisingly cheap for what they are. I thought they were gonna be like $400 when Andy told me about them. I'm gonna be picking a few more of these up, and I will say that they are absolutely amazing, and it's, again, something that I wish I would have found sooner. So thanks to my buddy Andy for introducing me to these stands for a lot of the shoots that I do. the Matthews Hollywood Beefy Baby stand will definitely make things a lot easier.
Another piece of gear that helps us get the job done and makes things a lot easier is having communication, having a headset. And these are the Hollyland Solid Comms. There's really not too much to say about these things. They are just really good for staying in communication with the team. They sound really good. They have really good noise canceling. They have great battery life. Again, just something that makes our job a lot easier.
One final piece of gear that I do want to talk about is something that I have had for some time now, and that's my Sachtler Flowtech 75 tripod legs. I do have it with the Sachtler FSB forehead. Now, while the Sachtler Flowtech combo is expensive, I will say that this thing has been through battles with me. It's been through so many different things. I've flown with it, I've traveled in the car with it, I've traveled across the country with this tripod, and I will say I haven't exactly been gentle with it. And when I'm putting an expensive camera and all the accessories and expensive lenses, I'm not going to feel very confident when putting my camera on a very cheap tripod. But I will say, when it comes to these tripod legs, this tripod head, it has stood the test of time, and I've had it for a long time, and I do fully see and expect that I'm gonna have it for much longer. I would love to know, like, what gear has made your job easier? And if you drop a comment below, I'd love to hear from you. The links to these products will be found in the description below. When you buy from these links, it does help to support this channel, and it helps me to make videos. So until next time, take care.